children to and from schools has been a major concern for some time now. The recent Bombay High Court order ordering amendments in the school bus safety norms has evoked mixed reactions. While school bus owners say it will put an end to illegal and unsafe vehicles like rickshaws and vans, parents feel these vehicles are more convenient and economical.
जीपीएस वगैरह तो कुछ नहीं है, नॉर्मल कैब है। हाँ, बच्चे वैसे ज़्यादा भी होते हैं, बट वो ये है कि एक तो चार्जेस कम है कैब के, दूसरा सेकंड टाइम भी कम लगता है, बच्चा टाइम पर आ जाता है स्कूल।
A forum of Parents Teachers Association has written to the Maharashtra Transport Department and filed a PIL against unregulated school transport.
This automatically might ban the use of minivans and autos, which according to these PTA owners are not regulated or organized as a sector. So in this whole situation, the van owners and the other transport experts state that it is not possible for all school buses to enter areas which are smaller in size or in the interiors of the city, and they are stating that because of the convenience issue, many parents prefer using minivans as well as auto rickshaws to ferry their kids on a daily basis to schools and back and forth to their places.
But why hasn't the Supreme Court's safety guidelines been enforced yet? And how long will our children be transported like cattle? Mirror Now report.
Well, this is a really important discussion to have, which is why as a channel we have chosen to dedicate 1 hour of prime time programming tonight to the safety of our children. This policy decision is so important to each of us because I know that right now there are parents across the country deciding whether they should be paying 20,000 rupees as bus fees for the year to get their children loaded onto the bus, the school bus service. We also know, of course, the school bus service is not available to everybody. It's expensive, first of all. It might not be coming to your neighborhood. It might not actually be available. If you don't book it on time, you might not get the service at all. A lot of people I've spoke to in our office said that school buses don't come into bastis. They don't come into small streets. They drop the children at the main road, and then someone has to go to that main road and pick them up. It's easier to get a smaller van. It's easier to get an auto rickshaw to pick up children. But remember that school buses have very clear rules of how the children should be picked up, of how the children should be treated, the fact that there should be space in the bus for school bags to be kept. Look at the footage that we've all seen it. We don't even have to look at it on the screen. Children jammed into these auto rickshaws, children jammed into minivans, bags hanging out of these auto rickshaws on all sides. They're stuffed with children to a point where they look like they might tip over because there are no rules right now. Just Maruti Omni vans painted yellow and called school buses, is that enough? It's very important to have this conversation today. It's not just about the PIL that has been filed in Maharashtra. It's important also in any of our cities right now to make sure that when our children travel to school, that they are safe. Look at the footage on your screen of the young man sitting in the front seat who's not wearing a seatbelt, of the even younger man wedged between him and the driver in what is not even a seat. But there he is. They fit as many little children as they can into those vans, and those vans are not safe. None of them are wearing seatbelts. There are children who have been fit into the boot from which there is no escape in case of an accident. There is no exit. They are stuck in the back of the van. These are questions we should ask. These are prime time questions we should ask. These are prime time discussions we should have in our country. Joining me on the show this evening, Keshav Upadhyay is the spokesperson of the BJP, and I am so glad to introduce to my viewers Amod Kant, former joint CP of the Delhi Police and currently a child's rights activist who's done phenomenal work in the area, and we're so glad he made time to be with us this evening. Indrani Malkani, Managing Trustee of V Citizens Action Network. Arundhati Chavan, the President of the Parent Teachers Association United Forum, is the petitioner in the specific PIL that brought up this conversation today. Nalin Modi is a member of the Action Committee, the School Bus Owners Association. Nitin Goyal is the President of the Chandigarh Parents Association, and Sunil Chaudhary is simply a parent and therefore one of the most important people we have on the show. Sunil Chaudhary, I will start with you because parents come first. Do you believe that all other forms of transport for children, other than school buses, regulated school buses, should be banned and taken off the roads?
No, that's not good.
Why not?
Basically, जहाँ तक हमारा पेरेंट्स का सवाल है
जी,
इसके अंदर हमें सिर्फ बड़े बसेस और उनके अंदर के जो सेफ्टी का आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि सेफ्टी सब जगह होनी चाहिए बच्चों के लिए, पर थिंग इज पेरेंट्स के लिए सेफ्टी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट इशू है ही, उसके अलावा भी छोटे बसेस का जो इम्पोर्टेंस छोटे गाड़ियों का, आई एम नॉट इन फेवर ऑफ ऑल दिस वैन्स, ये जो लीगल चीज़ों के लिए, लेकिन कंसर्न इज़ जो लोग सेफ्टी का मेजर्स कर सकते हैं या जो छोटी गाड़ियाँ कर सकती है उनके लिए अलाउड करना जरूरी है, बिकॉज यहाँ पर प्रॉब्लम
गाड़ियों के बेनिफिट्स क्या है आप
नहीं, छोटी गाड़ी के बेनिफिट्स ये रहेंगे कि जैसे कई जगह पे है, बॉम्बे में भी देखिए आप, बड़ी बस नहीं पहुँच सकती है लोकेशन तक, और स्कूल्स के सामने का पार्किंग का अगर आप कौन से भी एरिया में जाएंगे, जैसे हमारे न्यू बॉम्बे में जाएंगे तो स्कूल के सामने सुबह में इतना हंगामा होता है पार्किंग का कि आप ये नहीं, अभी नाउ यू कैन से कि रूल है कि इनसाइड कंपाउंड दे शुड अलाउ टू टेक द बसेस एंड ऑल, बट रूल्स है कोई फॉलो नहीं कर रहा है, स्कूल्स कभी एंट्री नहीं दे रही है, तो छोटे बसेस कम से कम टाइम में पहुंचाते हैं। 32 बच्चों को पहुंचाने तक जो टाइम जाता है वो 6-8 बच्चे 10 बच्चे रहेंगे तो जल्दी से पहुंचाते हैं, दैट इज द कंसर्न बेसिकली। और फिर भी हम पेरेंट्स, सेकंड होता ये है कि हम पेरेंट्स बड़े कॉन्ट्रैक्टर के हाथ में और एक बार चले जाते हैं। सी ऑल द बसेस का जो है ना, बड़े कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स है, इनके अंदर हम हाथ में हम चले जाते हैं, दैट इज कंसर्न बेसिकली। छोटा अगर मिनी बस है तो हम उसके ड्राइवर के साथ डायरेक्टली कोऑर्डिनेट कर सकते हैं, और ड्राइवर नॉर्मली ओनर होते हैं मिनी बस के, बट नो डाउट दे शुड फॉलो द रूल्स, whatever जो मोटर व्हीकल एक्ट का रूल है वो फॉलो करना चाहिए, that is the concern.
Okay, then it's not correct.
All right, Indrani Malkani, very quickly.
You know, first of all, I'm sorry, I must explain the policy, because there seems to be a lack of understanding of what the school bus policy is all about. It is not about big buses, large buses and small buses, not at all. It is the question of school bus service, which is a legal service being provided by the school. The operators really have no say in the matter at all in that sense. So what Mr. Chaudhary was just sharing is not in its true form,
no, but
the policy.
The question that I'm not talking about the policy. I'm not talking about the policy. The question that I'm asking is about safety of our children.
Correct.
I'm not talking about the specific policy. I'm talking about the footage that we're looking at on our screen of auto rickshaws,
Absolutely.
of vans. Should that be allowed? That's my question.
No, that's the point I'm going to come to and tell you that as per the policy, it was always a point that smaller vehicles must come within the purview of the policy, and that was for Maharashtra. We had said 12 should be the minimum number in order to make good business sense and mobility for the smaller areas.
So here's the argument that I'm going to bring in right now. I'm going to bring in Mr. Amod Kant. Yeah, I'm going to bring in Mr. Amod Kant. Amod Kant, you know, we can say 12 is the minimum, but what we were looking at...
13 actually.
It's 13 one second. What we were looking at on our screen, Mr. Kant, was what effectively a 4-seater with 13 children jammed into it. Does that qualify as a 13-seater then, Mr. Kant? And that's my problem. What we were looking at, there was a child actually climbing on top of that Maruti Omni to reach his bag and take it off. I think that is very dangerous. Where do you stand on this argument, Mr. Kant?
No, actually, I'm listening to the conversation, and I'm listening to even the parents, you know, the father of the children, who is representing that part, and of course, I listened to the other lady who was talking about it. See, my background is that I was also the chairman of Child Rights Commission in Delhi, and I look after Prayas, an organization for children, and of course, I'm an ex-policeman. Now, from all the angles, I would like to look at the entire situation. Number one, that if you look at the safety angle, the first point is safety angle. See, there are situations which can be called safe and unsafe under the law, because we have got on the panel people who understand law very well. See, if the child's life, if the child's safety is endangered in any form, whatever, and the crowding definitely is one of the reasons. If, let's say, a small minibus, if it can accommodate about 10 people and you push in about 20 or 15 of them, decidedly you are endangering the child.
Correct.
You are creating a suffocated atmosphere. You are creating a situation where it can be called negligence, plain and simple. And as you know that any act of negligence which can result in any kind of danger to the child, any kind of hurt, injury to the child, is bound to attract criminal offence also. It can become a criminal offence. And there have been cases. There have been many cases wherein these buses have been run in a manner which is totally unacceptable, which creates danger, etc., etc. So safety is one issue. Now the other issue is that regulation. We talked about regulation. Now as the lady, sorry I'm forgetting her name, she was just now talking about, it's not a matter between the minibus or let's say bigger bus. See, Malkani, that's correct. So it is not a matter between the minibus and the bigger bus. If in Bombay, let's say in Delhi also, in Delhi city we find that there are a large number of areas where these big buses just can't go. I mean the slums and the unauthorized colonies and things like that, narrow lanes. So for that reason the smaller buses or the smaller vans would be more suitable. They are better and they should be allowed also. And they can run very safely, not that the safety is compromised there. They could be regulated also. Now the issue of regulation is this, that they should ply in a manner which is safe. They should be looked after properly by the authorities in the school. Now because one fundamental thing I think everybody has to accept, the child is always under somebody's guardianship. When the child leaves home, let us say, and the child is handed over to somebody who takes the child, transports the child to the school, during that period the people who look after the child, let us say the driver, the conductor or a teacher from the school, many a times in the bigger buses the teacher has to be there. In fact in Delhi it's a rule.
Yes, it is a rule.
In all the school buses there has to be some staffs, and that's a rule, that's part of the rule. In fact they have to sit and look after the safety of children. So that period when the child leaves the home and the child has not reached the school, then that period the child's guardianship gets transferred to the transporter.
That's why Mr. Kant,
yes, that's the common standard.
If I may please, I have in my hand right now directions of the Supreme Court of India for school buses, and it says very clearly what qualifies as a school bus. The bus must have, for example, on school duty, it should be painted yellow, it should say school bus very clearly. It should have a first aid box. The name of the school and the telephone number should be written on the bus. The doors should be fitted with reliable locks. There should be space for school bags to be kept safely under the seats and not dangled outside. There must be an attendant in the school bus at all points. It should be fit with speed governors and the maximum speed of 40 kilometers an hour. We know a lot of these auto rickshaws don't follow that speed limit. If the children are below the age of 12, then you should only exceed a capacity of 1.5 times the seating. If they're above the age of 12, then you cannot seat more than the seating of that particular vehicle. The bus driver must carry a complete list of all of the children, name, class, residential address, blood group, and the points of stoppage, and it goes on in this manner. I think what has also, what this has led to, let me bring in a couple of the parents here. Let me bring in Arundhati Chavan. This has led to buses being extremely expensive. Let us be honest, it is a luxury. If it is going to cost me 20,000 rupees per child and I have 2 children, how will I send the boy? Am I going to pay the school fees? Am I going to pay the bus fees? The truth is, a lot of parents opt for the smaller vehicles, which cannot have all of these options because they're just smaller vehicles. You can't put these things, reliable doors in an auto rickshaw. Parents opt for these options because it's cheaper.
See, I agree with you that parents opt for these options, but then they don't keep vigilance that how many children that auto rickshaw or that van is carrying. See, the capacity, maximum capacity of one auto rickshaw is just 4 children can accommodate with their school bag comfortably. But we have seen that 8 children sharing the same auto, 2 children sitting next to the auto driver, and the way it is, means I really sometimes wonder that how come parents don't think about it, that the rickshaw or van carrying their children is not that, how they are carrying, the way that is not safe for their children. So here it is like, okay, even I feel that RTO...
No, but I don't know if it's, Arundhati Chavan, I'm going to interrupt you here. I don't know if it's fair. I don't know if it's fair to say that parents are not thinking about their children's safety. No parent is being careless about their children's safety. A lot of times parents don't have a choice really, and that's why they're picking. Let me just bring in some voices. Jayashree is on the phone line. Jayashree Bakshi is on the phone line from Pune. She's just called us. Our phone lines are open to parents across the country. Pick up the phone and call us. Jayashree, go ahead.
My first question is, on whom does the onus lie? of the safety and security of the child, a precious child. And is it the school authorities or is it the parents?
School.
Or how do we monitor these auto rickshaws and minivans, especially in the view it has been brought to notice that many children are being sexually assaulted also.
Yes.
There is a Supreme Court ruling, but above all this, my question is, on whom does the onus lie? Who does the verification of the minivan driver or the school bus driver or the auto rickshaw driver?
Who, yes, absolutely. Who?
May I answer?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. As you have asked, ma'am, the school is the authority who facilitates the bringing of the safe transportation of the children. Autos do not come as a vehicle which is safe for transporting the children. And in the cost factor which was brought up also, that is the reason a vehicle which can be called a school bus is a vehicle which can have a passenger capacity of only 13 and above. Anything that is below is unsafe. So that is the reason. That's why they are smaller vehicles and they can maneuver in various other places. Now, in the question you have put over here is, the school acts as a facilitator between the transporters and the parents, because children are minor. But the school facilitates this whole transportation sector, and verification of the drivers, etc. Also the mechanism is there. And every single aspect has been looked into, and they are supposed to give it to the local police and get all of this verification done.
The other voices. Nalin Modi is the member of the School Bus Owners Association. Nalin Modi, do we have enough buses in the city or in any of our cities to ferry all of the children safely, or some of them are just going to have to get into autos?
Why not? The smaller
I agree with. One thing is that as you said that in rickshaw or van, first of all, I will differ with the Sudhir Bhai's, Chaudhry's, what he said, that if any kind of a problem is there, they are able to directly be in touch with the driver, who is mostly owner of the van. But first of all, I will say there should be a control on anything. Now the control comes from the school only. If there is a complaint from parent's side, the parent is immediately able to talk to the principal or to the authority who looking after the transportation. And immediately a solution can be there, whether there is a mistake of a driver or a conductor.
I don't think Mr. Chaudhary agrees with you, and I don't think Nikhil Goyal of the Parents Association Chandigarh agrees with you either. Mr. Chaudhary, you don't agree.
The point is,
आप नहीं मानते?
ये जो इशू बता रहे ना, it's like, you know, he is saying कि parents को जैसे principal directly हमेशा का आना जाना है, and like transport का contractor भी रोज मिलता है. ये बहुत मतलब technically और कानूनन बहुत अच्छी बात है, लेकिन ये possible नहीं होता है. कई सारे स्कूल ऐसे दिखाता हूँ मैं जिनके अंदर 8 बजे गेट बंद होने के बाद पेरेंट्स को मिलने का भी चांस नहीं मिलता है. ये कम से कम बाहर जो छोटे, और ये सब जो है ना, ये छोटे बस वाले, छोटे वैन्स वाले, या ये सब किसके हाथ, किससे चलते हैं? ये सब जब तक स्कूल के साथ इनका कोई टाई अप ना हो, जब तक इनका कोई गवर्नमेंट से यानी डिपार्टमेंट से टाई अप ना हो, ये तो खड़े भी नहीं रह सकेंगे गेट के सामने. सो गेट के सामने अगर खड़े रह रहे हैं, उनके नॉमिनल नॉर्म्स अगर ये करें, तो पेरेंट्स नेचुरली प्रेफर करेंगे, क्योंकि इनकी कॉस्ट भी आधी है. ये जो बस का आज 20,000 रुपया 20,000 का ये अब साल का खर्चा है, इससे आधी कॉस्ट में जो बसेस, छोटे बसेस में बच्चे आ रहे हैं. तो अभी सेफ्टी का नो डाउट, सेफ्टी हर पेरेंट.
नलिन मोदी जी, आप मुझे ये बताइए, छोटे स्कूल बस की जो फीस लेते हैं आप लोग, आप समर की छुट्टी की फीस क्यों लेते हैं? वो 2 महीने की फीस आप क्यों लेते हैं? बताइए. पेरेंट्स को इतना स्ट्रगल करके अपने बच्चों को स्कूल भेजते हैं, आप मतलब दुगना तिगना फीस क्यों लेते हैं? आप अप्रैल मई में फीस क्यों लेते हैं?
I do agree, but what you said, I'm sorry to say, but 20,000 जो आपने बताया, that's a very exaggerating figure. It is not at all there.
No,
I can say, I can tell. We are working with Walsingham House School. We are working with Birla and all, and they are having the minimum ratio of the fees fixed up by the school, and the school authority, without the consultation with the PTA members,
what are the fees?
They do not increase the fees. For last 2-3 years.
But what are the fees? What one child on a school bus? What are the fees?
For minimum up to 3 to 5 kilometers, we maximum charge by 800 to 1,000 rupees.
Per?
Maximum, yes, per child.
Per child, per month?
Yeah, per month. And now, as you say, why do we charge for the holidays and all? Ma'am, we have to pay the insurance for all 12 months. We have to pay the tax for all 12 months. We have to pay to the conductors, lady attendant, drivers, everybody has. Suppose if we are not collecting the money on the 12 months basis, how we are going to pay to our drivers, conductors, daily attendants? How?
Nitin Goyal, do you agree that there are buses that will take a child for 12,000 rupees a month?
Yes, it's a fact.
In fact, I was messy.
Yes, go ahead.
In fact, I was wondering, where did you get this 20? So in Chandigarh, there are schools who are charging up to 4,000 rupees per month for school transport, which comes to rupees 50,000 per annum. Of course, it depends on the distance. 20,000 is very low amount. Up to 50,000, there are schools.
Because in Maharashtra we have the policy, that is why it is regulated.
No, but every time
yes,
when there is
unfortunately,
a prices hike,
unfortunately there is no regulator for
in
Chandigarh and other parts of India. The school transport fees is very high, and the school, yes, school facilitates school bus transport, but there are hardly any opportunity to communicate if there are any issues. In case a school bus meets an accident, there is no one to take responsibility. The school is often seen saying that we had outsourced the school transport to a private contractor. It is not our responsibility, and private contractor is of course not accessible to parents. So besides cost, if a parent hires a auto rickshaw or a van, it is not only cheap, it is way more convenient also. A school bus carrying a higher number of students.
Right. So here are the problems. Let me just list out all the problems. The fact that school buses are prohibitively expensive, almost extortionary in the amount of money they charge, because you don't have a choice. The school has one service provider and you have to pay whatever that service. Listen to the parents, Indrani. You might believe that there is a policy. I don't think it's the same on the ground. Mr. Chaudhary, are there multiple service providers at multiple rates that you can choose from? Any parent. I'm also going to ask our camera crew, do you get an option of choosing how much fees you want to pay for school buses? No, you don't. Indrani, your policy might be fantastic.
No,
but
it's not the policy. That's not correct.
See, nowadays, बहुत सारे स्कूल में
very important this issue.
Madam, PTAs are not involved right now in school fees hikes that are being hiked without the permission of the PTA. Are you telling me you have the ability to control the school bus prices?
Yes, because there is a transport policy.
I mean, Indrani, I really appreciate that there is a policy, but for heaven's sake, let me point out to you, nobody is following the policy.
That is an implementation.
Nobody is following the policy, and we're talking about implementation.
There is an issue of implementation. That exactly is the point, Faye, that there is a problem of implementation. If you look at the Common Standard Agreement, which the Honorable High Court has talked about, the Common Standard Agreement is so binding in all of these points that have been raised today. Because I understand in Chandigarh and elsewhere, I can only talk about Maharashtra because that has been put in place. And that is why the Central Act has come in with the 13-seater rule, which is that
follows the 13-seater rule.
The point it has happened. That's exactly. If things are there, then we have to ensure that the right thing is followed. If we don't do that,
let me also point out.
Therefore, there's a question of implementation.
Let me also point out.
That it isn't there.
Not only are schools increasing fees, Mr. Kant, I'm coming to you. Not only are schools increasing fees without the permission of the PTA, when they're not allowed to increase fees, they increase the school bus fees to extort money out of parents.
No,
Mr. Kant.
They're doing that?
It's true. It's true. It's true.
That's exact. That's why there is something.
Even कई जगह पे PTA का परमिशन का छोड़िए, PTA के फॉर्मेशन भी इलीगल तरीके से हो. तो फॉर्मेशन ऑफ PTA अगर इलीगल होगा, तो डेफिनेटली वो PTA का एग्जीक्यूटिव कमिटी फेवरेबल होगा स्कूल के हर एक्शन के.
No, that's correct. Yeah. That is why many of these angles.
I just want to hear what Mr. Kant says. Mr. Kant, go ahead.
No, I'm only trying to say that is it not advisable to take a realistic view of the entire situation? See, number one, I heard and I know, I'm fully aware about the Supreme Court guidelines, which is applicable across the country. And Supreme Court guidelines have a very long list of conditions that they place upon all the people across the country, in all the schools that applies. Perhaps it's a small school which is very poor and which caters to very poor kind of people in a small town, in a village, or maybe in big city, wherever it is. I mean, thousands of schools are there in various places. Supreme Court guidelines cannot be implemented. Let me clarify. They can't be implemented in the manner which is there. Although it's an ideal situation that it must happen. Because in the first place, as you can look at it, I mean, the parents who can't afford, for instance, they can't be compelled to say that you must have this kind of bus. Because there are rates, prohibitive rates are here. And in Maharashtra, if you're trying to say that the rates have been regulated in Maharashtra, I have no idea. It is not regulated anywhere in the country. In majority of places, it's not regulated at all. I mean, the rates are not regulated. Probably conditions may be regulated. Conditions may be placed, but rates are not regulated. And the children coming from various kinds of economic situations, backgrounds, their parents and their guardians cannot afford it. And that is why precisely these autos are there. Autos are extremely dangerous, and decidedly we should not allow children to go on the autos. Let us prohibit it. I mean, that should not be permitted. Somebody very well pointed out that if you keep autos in front of schools, for example, if you keep autos at places where children ride the transport, then probably autos will be used. The autos could be prohibited because autos cannot function like this. I mean, I am sure auto drivers might feel unhappy about it, but the fact remains that children who crowd in the autos, except, I mean, beyond, let's say, 4 children, if it is permitted, it's perfectly in place.
Right.
But the way look at it, and they are so open. It's so difficult to kind of, without the guardian being in the auto, without somebody being there to look after the safety of the child, the autos can't be allowed. Now, coming back to the smaller vehicles and bigger vehicles. Not only minibuses and not only these small kind of buses, there are different types of vehicles with different safety conditions or lack of safety conditions, they are there. And then we cannot create separate regulations for each one of them. It's very, very difficult.
Right.
So in that situation, probably we should create some basic norms.
Yes,
and
create some basic norms. Let me just go to Keshav Upadhyay. Keshav Upadhyay, representing the BJP. Mr. Upadhyay, I want to appreciate the fact that you listen very patiently to all of the arguments being put forward. I want to understand from you, Mr. Upadhyay, do you know if the government is working on a specific regulation, not just for safety for children, but also for a regulation for fees on school buses so that parents can afford those fees?
That's correct. Must have a fee.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you for giving the opportunity to talk in this talk show, because last 40 minutes I am just sitting here and listening all the arguments of respectable other persons. There is 2-3 things I want to mention here. सबसे पहली बात तो थोड़ा समझ लेना चाहिए कि देयर इज़ कॉम्प्लिकेशन. ये दिस इज़ एक तो बहुत अच्छी बात है कि इस प्रकार से सेफ्टी इज़ द फर्स्ट कंसर्न चाइल्ड के बारे में. ये तो सबकी डिमांड है, सबकी बात है और सबका वही होना चाहिए. लेकिन जब मुंबई जैसा सिटी है जहाँ ट्रैफिक की समस्या है, बहुत सारे समस्या है, फिनेंशियली सिचुएशन है, क्योंकि बहुत सारे बड़े बड़े स्कूल्स है, उनकी फ़ीस है, फिर स्कूल बस की फ़ीस है, इन सारे अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं पेरेंट्स, ऐसी भी सिचुएशन नहीं है. तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में बहुत बार लोग इस प्रकार के पैरेलल जो व्यवस्था है, सिस्टम है, फिर वो ऑटो रिक्शा है या छोटी मिनी बसेस है, वो लेते हैं. कोई खुशी से जाके इस प्रकार की व्यवस्था लेते नहीं हैं. तो फिर भी इसलिए इस प्रकार के कॉम्प्लिकेशन में सेफ्टी ध्यान में रखते हुए महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट पहला गवर्नमेंट है जो स्कूल बस के बारे में बहुत सारे रूल्स उन्होंने किए, पिछले 2 साल में किए, पिछले उसके पहले भी होते रहे हैं. जैसे कि स्कूल में छोटे स्पेशली लड़कियों की सेफ्टी के बारे में कुछ घटनाएं हुई थी, उसके बाद हमने महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ सेफ्टी रूल्स किए और भी करने जा रहे हैं. तो इस प्रकार से, लेकिन ये सिर्फ बड़ी बसेस होनी चाहिए, ये पूरी बैन कर दो, इसके लिए समय लगेगा, इसके लिए बहुत सारा एक डिस्कशन करना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद ही हम इसके ऊपर इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने डिसीजन दिया है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट डिसीजन है, वो तो मानना पड़ेगा. महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट में उसके बारे में ऑलरेडी डिस्कशन चालू है और आने वाले दिनों में इसके ऊपर जो ठोस आपके आंसर चाहिए, एक फॉर्मूला चाहिए, वो डेफिनेटली महाराष्ट्र सरकार उसके सामने पेश करेगी, जो बच्चों को सेफ्टी भी कंसर्न करता हो एज वेल एज वो अफोर्डेबल भी हो. ये दोनों चीजें.
So I would appreciate केशव जी, महाराष्ट्र की एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर के सामने, मिस्टर तावड़े के सामने हमने ऑलरेडी स्कूल फीस की बात रखी है कि अगर स्कूल बस फीस की बात भी अगर वो ध्यान से देखेंगे तो we would appreciate it and we would appreciate an update from you. Guda is on the phone line from Bangalore. Go ahead, we can hear you.
Yeah, I am a retired headmaster. Unfortunately, I made good number of attempts. No matter how many times you bring it to the notice of the policeman, bring it to the notice of Education Department, bring it to the notice of Education Minister, bring it to the notice of Chief Minister. Nothing is going to happen. We have got good number of laws in our country. There is nobody to implement. Only once the policeman catches him and next time he is free again. He does the same thing.
Yes.
What I used to do, I used to take a photograph from the mobile of a parent who used to bring 5 children on a bike. And I used to show it to him. What did he do? He left the children just 200 meters away from my school and he escaped. This continues. The only best solution for this is, all intelligent people are looking at me, they are laughing at me. He's a nonsense headmaster. Why should you talk to him? Okay, whatever it may be.
Right, right. Okay, we understand that there are very few people actually implementing the law. Anu's on the phone line from Delhi. We're getting calls from across the country. Anu, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I just want to highlight a case just 5 to 6 days back in Queen's Mary School, North End Model Town, where a 4-year girl was just molested with a van driver. She was on the last stop. She was all awakened. अकेली थी वो लड़की, 4 साल की लड़की. जब लास्ट स्टॉप पे उतरना था तो वो ड्राइवर उसके साथ गलत हरकतें करता था. जब लड़की ने मना किया कि मैं स्कूल नहीं जाऊंगी कल से, तो पेरेंट्स ने प्यार से पूछा कि बच्चे क्या हुआ, तो उसने बताया कि अंकल मेरे को रोज चॉकलेट देते हैं और ऐसी ऐसी हरकतें करते हैं. मैम, मैं सिर्फ चाइल्ड अब्यूज़ के पीछे बोल रही हूँ कि हमारे स्कूल में बिल्कुल भी चाइल्ड अब्यूज़ नहीं समझाया जाता, बच्चों के लिए स्टेप्स नहीं लिए जाते. और ट्रांसपोर्टर्स के अंदर ये प्रॉब्लम है, कोई भी ड्राइवर की वेरिफिकेशन नहीं है स्कूल में मैम. और हम लोग 3-4 दिन से 5 दिन से सब पेरेंट्स वहाँ जाकर इतना शोर मचा रहे हैं कि प्लीज़ आप बच्चों को देखिए, करिए, बच्चों की सेफ्टी. और गर्ल्स स्कूल्स के बाद भी ये सेफ्टी नहीं है मैम स्कूल के अंदर. तो आई एम वेरी मच, मैं इतनी ज़्यादा परेशान हूँ इस चीज के लिए कि गर्ल्स की सेफ्टी इज मस्ट.
Right, Bhushan is on the phone line from Delhi. Bhushan, go ahead very quickly.
Good evening. My point is simple. You're only talking right now about the safety of vans and the minivans and autos. Yes, they are not safe, but who is responsible? It is parents who are responsible because they are looking for a cheap transport. They pay for a small amount, save small amount. They will pay hefty fees to the school for tuition fee and other things, but they are not willing to pay transport fee to the school. This is not understandable. You are having a drain in front of your house. You don't drink water from there because you know it is not safe. You buy a bottle from the market or you take a tap water which is filtered through your RO. So if you're looking at safety everywhere, why?
No, I don't think, see Bhushan, I don't think that is fair. I don't think any parent who puts their or opts for a van or an auto wants their children to be unsafe. A lot of times they're prioritizing between rent, food, school fees, books, school uniforms, all of the other things that they have to pay for compulsorily in the school. They have to pay for the picnics, whether or not the children actually go. They have to pay for the artwork, whether or not their children are interested in art. The only choice they might have is to not take the school bus. No parent will willfully put their child at risk. A lot of times it's because they don't have a choice. And I have this question for Mr. Nalin Modi. How do you ensure that there is safety for children in the school buses that your company operates? Tell me something. Are you verifying the drivers?
It's done by the school.
Are you verifying? No, I want to understand from him. Are you verifying the drivers? How do you know that these children are going to be safe?
As I quoted, I'm just giving an instance. My Walsingham school, the teachers as well as the principal and directors is so much taking care of the children. Every month our buses are checked, whether that alarm of the sudden open emergency door is working or not, whether the fire extinguisher is there or not, whether the list of the children is there, whether the mobile numbers of them are there, whether the seats are okay or not. They are very much taking keen interest in the buses. Why? Because they are taking the safety of the children first. And second thing, what I feel, these are the schools which are always in touch with all the operators. Every month we do have a meeting. And if any kind of
because the CSA is being followed in this school, as simple as that. Because otherwise, without the common standard agreement which binds all this, and the verification is done by the school, and the molestation which we just heard about, it is a fact that if the regulations are not done, verification is not done, these problems are there, and there is no getting away from it. But please see what is already in place, and schools are following it.
Mr. Nalin Modi, yes, ma'am. I also want to ask you this question, Arundhati. Tell me this: if the government makes school bus services compulsory for all children, which means parents don't have the option of an auto, parents don't have the option of a small, will you drop the prices of school buses because you are now getting more children getting
and they're getting a tax rebate, mind you.
Yes. Why are school buses so expensive? Simple question.
Tax rebate is also there.
You have a tax rebate.
Yes,
why can't you drop the prices of taxes? However, let's be honest. PTAs have no power over school bus charges.
See, they have school bus committee in the school. Provision has been made for that.
Yes.
So it is like, you know, PTA empowerment should be there, and it is like, you know, each parent should come forward and ask this question to the school management that why there is no school bus committee in the school.
Okay.
Then it will be
let me give you the answer from parents themselves. Sai Badrinath is on the phone line from Chennai. Sai Badrinath.
Chennai will not, because this is Maharashtra.
See, this may be Maharashtra. This is a national channel. We're talking nationally, and the truth is, Indrani Malkani, let me point out to you, I know you keep talking about policy. Let me point out to you, in the state of Maharashtra, in Pune, in Mumbai, in Navi Mumbai, schools are raising fees at an unreasonable level, not respecting the Maharashtra policy on school fees that says you cannot increase fees more than 15% without consulting the PTA. They're doing it on an annual basis. So let's not pretend. I just want to bring in Sai Badrinath from Chennai, who says that 1,000 rupees per month is not true. How much are you paying for school bus? Sai Badrinath, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah. See, I just want to ask the gentleman, is he living in India or not? 1,000 rupees per month for a school is not at all there. Number two, I am paying 26,000 per annum for 2 of my girl childs, which is 8 kilometers from here. Number 3 point, yes, you correctly said schools are looking at bus fare as an avenue of earning. It is not like they want to change the, increase the fees, because a lot of CBSE central regulations are there for the fees. Bus, they are looking for. I'm not saying all the schools, but most of the schools. There are some good schools as well. And the number 4 point, the lady from Delhi was talking about the child safety, especially women. You know what? When I got my girl child, me and my wife have decided that we will not let my child in a school or an auto. Whatever come may, we will go and drop her, and that is going to continue till she goes to the college and even after the college.
Right.
And
so even if there is an expensive school bus available, you want to actually drop your child to school because you do not trust the service. Bharti Singh is on the phone line from Delhi. Bharti, go ahead.
Yeah, I am PTA secretary from the Convent of Jesus and Mary School. I am a parent.
Yes.
And I just wanted to say we had worked on the school transport. But as parents, I am very sorry to say, we want that the children should be picked and dropped from the doorstep. So we opt for this small transport system, which we have given the birth to this parallel transport system of mini buses, autos and rickshaws. And last year, CBSE gave the guidelines that all the verification should be done of the drivers and of the van and auto, whatever the private transporters are. Our school did all this exercise, but every now and then, the drivers keep on changing, and it is not possible to keep a tab of these private transporters. So I request the parents, instead of going for the small transporters for our little laziness, instead of that, if we opt for the school buses, that would be more better.
All right, opt for the school buses, that would be better. That's the word coming in from Delhi. Mr. Chaudhary.
Point is, अभी आप देखिए, हर कोई चाहता है कि पेरेंट सिर्फ रूल फॉलो करे. स्कूल्स रूल फॉलो नहीं करेंगे. आज जो फीस रेगुलेशन का एक्ट है वो स्कूल जरा भी नहीं ध्यान देगी, डिपार्टमेंट उसकी तरफ ध्यान नहीं देगा. ट्रांसपोर्टर्स और अंदर स्कूल के अंदर क्या चलता है वो उनके वो जाने, और पेरेंट्स के लिए कुछ नहीं है. फिर भी पेरेंट्स ही सिर्फ ये सब रूल फॉलो करे, बाकी कोई नहीं करे. ये सिचुएशन हर जगह पे चल रही है आज की डेट में. अभी जहाँ तक ये छोटी वैन्स का और इसका सवाल है, मेरा तो कंसर्न यही है कि छोटी वैन हो या बड़ी गाड़ी हो, इम्पोर्टेंट इज पेमेंट सबके लिए नहीं होगा. बॉम्बे में शायद नहीं होगा, लेकिन छोटे शहरों में बहुत कंसर्न होता है पैसे के लिए, और उसके चलते हम लोग कम से कम में जो अवेलेबल होता है उसके लिए पेरेंट्स जाना ही चाहेंगे. कौन सी भी जगह पे हम ऐसा ही करते हैं, जहाँ पे सस्ता माल मिलता है वहीं जाते हैं हम लोग. सो इन दैट केस मुझे ये सब चीज़ नहीं था. और सेकेंडली हम ये हो जाता है कि सब बड़े कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स के बीच में हम फंस जाते हैं. इसके लिए हम चाहते हैं कि सेफ्टी के पॉइंट्स के लिए हमारे कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं है, सेफ्टी होना ही चाहिए. और उस सेफ्टी बच्चों के लिए तो सब कुछ करते हैं ना पेरेंट्स. तो
Nitin Goyal, unfortunately, and the research has shown that parents are the least price conscious when it comes to their children. They're willing to spend any amount of money to make sure that their children get the best thing. And this is whether the child is going to a state level school or the fanciest international school. Parents are normally working outside of their comfort zone and their budget. But is this all winding up to be organized loot? And if we make sure that only school buses is the service available, then will you put the parents completely at the mercy of the schools? Nitin Goyal.
Yeah, for any parents, student safety is the biggest priority. We of course always want to make sure that the service we hire is safe for our children. We are earlier talking about the instances happening in the various modes of transport. Bus fees is not regulated, but we have regulations for safety of children in the school buses. Despite of that, we keep hearing of instances of school bus meeting accidents, molestation cases inside school buses which are regulated. So we have to admit and accept that those regulations have failed. Those are not being implemented. Rather, we do not have hardly any statistics where these mini vans or these auto rickshaws had instances of molestation, etc. Besides, cost is also important. My friend was earlier justifying charging fees for all 12 months because they have to pay certain expenditure including salaries, etc. But how about the diesel fuel prices? You save totally your fuel during vacations, and also in the last 2-3 years we have witnessed fuel prices going down, but the school bus fees has been going up consistently. It has not, we have never seen a decline in the school bus fees despite all factors, economic factors going down.
Right.
Yes.
I just want to bring in Mr. Amod Kant here. Mr. Kant, fundamentally I have this question for you. If we, it's been established that there are various policies. The Supreme Court of India, like you said, is applicable across the country, not just in the state of Maharashtra. The CBSE has put out a notice saying any school that is violating the Motor Vehicles Act or the rules of the Supreme Court or the state government must be penalized. None of this is actually happening. How do you enforce these rules? How do you make sure children are actually safe, that policy is actually being followed?
That's the point.
No, I think there is a via media, a situation can be created where every school has now and is expected, all the government schools in the country are supposed to have a school management committee, which is now part of Right to Education Act also. So a school management committee, within a school management committee where the parents are there, the guardians are there, the children, schools, everybody is there. Now, they can create definitely that small team, that small group, which can regulate the entire transport system, transport policy of the school, wherein these points can be covered to a reasonable degree. It's quite possible. So, the government schools and the private schools, both of them can follow a system wherein the basic safety norms are followed, and that can be followed, surely it can be followed. It may not be possible to really adhere to all the guidelines that Supreme Court may give, but then it is quite possible to do. Here, of course, whether they are parents or they are school authorities or the teachers, the safety of the child is paramount, and everybody wants safety of child. Not that the school authorities don't want it. They want it also. So probably the transporters, the companies concerned, the police is a very important factor. The police should be there, the education department should be there, the transport company should be there, the parents' representative should be there, and a school authority should create that body. And that body should decide upon the basic norms and basic conditions. Decidedly, I'll again say that unsafe modes of transport like auto cannot work. But different types of vehicles can work depending on the affordability, because affordability is a very, very important factor.
Right. So,
they can decide.
So I think what we're winding down to is why the government doesn't have a policy that's actually being implemented. And I want to bring in Keshav Upadhyay. We need a policy for school fees, we need a policy for school bus fees, and we need a policy for safety. Keshav, it's part of our fundamental right to compulsory and free education. When will we get it?
Can you repeat the question, please?
My question to you, Keshav Upadhyay, is that we in this country, from our constitution, have a fundamental right to free and compulsory education. When will we get free and compulsory education if parents are being forced to pay high bus fares for school buses? Isn't it part of the government's job and the education department's job to ensure that safe transport is available to children at a reasonable, if not free, rate?
Yes, आपकी राय बिल्कुल सही है कि हमें फ्री एजुकेशन मिलना चाहिए और उसके साथ साथ एक रीजनेबल प्राइस में बस सर्विस मिलनी चाहिए. सुप्रीम कोर्ट का डिसीजन अभी आया है. इसके पहले भी महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट ने इस प्रकार का रेगुलेशन करने की कोशिश की है. यहाँ जो बैठे हैं उन्होंने भी उसके बारे में कहा. महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट इसके बारे में ऑलरेडी सोच रही है. आज डिसीजन, मेरे ख्याल से कल डिसीजन आया है ये. अभी इसके बारे में क्या किया जाए, और मैंने एक थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेशन है ये. हमें अच्छा एजुकेशन भी चाहिए, फिर यहाँ की ज्योग्राफिकल सिचुएशन भी डिफरेंट है.
गवर्नमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं तो गवर्नमेंट का पॉलिसी तो है, इसकी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं हो रहे हैं, इसके बारे में बात हो रहे हैं. क्योंकि मैं वो एपेक्स कमेटी में थी और वो पॉलिसी बनाने के लिए, तो ये पॉलिसी पहले बार महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट ने 2011 में बनाए हैं. 2011 में. अभी जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के नोटिफिकेशन आए हैं वो रेगुलेट करने के लिए, क्योंकि कोई भी कुछ भी व्हीकल को स्कूल बस बना रहे हैं, वो तो गलत है ना. क्योंकि कोई भी व्हीकल तो स्कूल बस नहीं. स्कूल बस क्या हो सकते हैं ये डेफिनेशन बताया गया है. लेकिन फीस के बारे में जो बात हो रहे हैं, ये फीस के लिए आप महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट की आप जानकारी होंगे आपकी कि बीएसटी ने 100 रुपया में, 90 रुपया पहले थे, अभी 100 रुपया में बच्चे के ट्रांसपोर्ट देते हैं स्कूल के लिए. ये बात नहीं हो रहे हैं. तो अफोर्डेबल फीस हो सकते हैं, इसके बारे में हमें चर्चा का. और महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट ने पहले बार ये इसमें टैक्स बेनिफिट दे चुके हैं स्कूल बस के लिए. तो स्कूल बस जो ऑपरेट करेंगे उसके लिए फीस हो सकते हैं.
लेकिन फीस आप नीचे क्यों ले लेके, व्हाई डोंट यू रिड्यूस द फीस? नलिन मोदी,
आई एग्री ना. जैसे मलकानी मैडम ने बताया कि फीस के बारे में कि जब भी टैक्स बेनिफिट मिल रहा है, तो जैसे पहले मैंने बताया वैसे 12 महीने का तो कॉस्ट है. अब जब टैक्स बेनिफिट मिलता है तो वो स्कूल बस टूर या पिकनिक और एनीवेयर इट कैन नॉट गो. इट हैज टू बी रिस्ट्रिक्टेड टू द ओनली स्कूल्स. स्कूल के रूट हो गए,
तो आप मत दीजिए फिर उनको स्कूल बस. मत दीजिए फिर उनको स्कूल बस.
यदि टैक्स बेनिफिट नहीं लेते हैं तो हम टूर मार सकते हैं, पिकनिक कर सकते हैं, तो अर्निंग सोर्स बढ़ता जाता है, तो खर्चा हमारा लेवल में आ जाता है. पर यदि टैक्स बेनिफिट के मुताबिक हम आगे बढ़ते हैं.
आप ये बताइए नलिन मोदी जी, आप अपना स्कूल बस की फीस आप रिड्यूस क्यों नहीं करते? ताकि आपने ही बोला कि बच्चों को सेफली लेके जाना है. अभी जब ज्यादा बच्चे फिर सेफली जा सकते हैं स्कूल.
बराबर है. और हमने जो बताया आपको, जो 12,000 जो सर मेरे से डिनाई कर रहे थे, आई कैन गिव यू द नेम्स ऑफ द स्कूल्स इन बॉम्बे एट प्रेजेंट वी आर डूइंग. We are charging between
schools who are charging more than 12,000 rupees.
12 to 14,000, 16,000 maximum. We are charging maximum 16,000 up to early.
बट इसमें एक कंसर्न और भी है. इसके अंदर एक कंसर्न और भी है. हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि हम जितना फीस स्कूल को देते हैं टुवर्ड्स बस, उतना हम कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को देते हैं, ये हम सोच के चलते हैं आज की डेट में. हालांकि हम पेरेंट्स को उसी पे डाउट है, बिकॉज स्कूल्स के ना कभी बैलेंस शीट कहीं बाहर आते हैं. मैक्सिमम स्कूल्स की बात कर रहा हूँ, ना बैलेंस शीट आते हैं. हालांकि सीबीएसई के हिसाब से है, आरटीई के हिसाब से बैलेंस शीट डेप्यूटी डायरेक्टर को आनी चाहिए. एवरीवेयर ये दिखाए कि आपका प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस का क्या है, आपको बैलेंस शीट दिखाने, लेकिन स्कूल का कोई अकाउंट्स नहीं आता है. सो ये बराबर है, कहीं 4,000 रुपया महीना होगा स्कूल का. जैसे हमारे न्यू बॉम्बे में 3 किलोमीटर रोज का आने जाने के लिए भी 1200-1500 रुपया महीने का लेते हैं. सो इट्स लाइक ये बराबर है. लेकिन सेम टाइम ये भी है कि इनकी भी कॉस्टिंग जो है वो इतनी एग्जेगरेटेड हो गई कि इसको रिड्यूस करना बहुत जरूरी है.
जैसे कि अभी बताया कि अपने डीजल का फ्यूल का भाव कम नहीं होते हैं या बढ़ती गए हैं, और हमने फीस भी 2 साल से नहीं बढ़ाई है. We have stuck to the fee structure as it is.
नहीं, हमेशा जब पेट्रोल का भाव बढ़ता है तो आप क्या करते हो कि
लास्ट 2 साल से हमने जितनी भी स्कूलों हम कर रहे हैं उसके अंदर हमने पेरेंट टीचर्स एसोसिएशन की परमिशन के बिना जरा भी नहीं किया है. We can give you the name of the school. जो हम कर रहे हैं उसके बारे में बता सकता हूँ.
Keep saying that we will not ply if you will not pay the.
You can't do that. Yeah. You can't do that.
And you know, and this is
taken under the emergency जैसे में है. Essential services में हम लोग पकड़े गए.
This is also, by the way, as far as diesel and petrol prices are concerned, this points clearly and straight to the state and central governments that have 40 rupees and more as state and central taxes on the price of petrol and diesel. Remember, petrol actually costs about 29 rupees before tax. After tax, we pay 77 rupees. There is no justification. That has an impact on every part of our life, including the school buses that our children take to school. Anil Kumar is on the phone line from Faridabad. Anil Kumar, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, Anil, go ahead.
एक्चुअली मेरे को एक समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि नेशनल पॉलिसी क्यों नहीं बनाई जाती है स्कूल लेवल पर।
बढ़िया बता।
एक नेशनल पॉलिसी होनी चाहिए स्कूल लेवल पे, ट्रांसपोर्ट लेवल पे। हमारे देश में लगभग 2,40,000 प्राइवेट स्कूल्स हैं, टोटल 14 लाख स्कूल्स हैं। 2,40,000 स्कूलों के अंदर हमें प्राइवेट बसेस की क्या जरूरत है? सुप्रीम कोर्ट की डायरेक्ट गाइडलाइंस था कि हर 2 किलोमीटर में स्कूल खोला जाएगा और उस इलाके के जो भी नियर बाय स्टूडेंट्स होंगे उनको एडमिशन दिया जाएगा। ऐसा क्यों होता है कि हमें 8-8, 10-10 किलोमीटर दूर से बच्चे लाने पड़ते हैं? अगर हमारी एजुकेशन पॉलिसी सेम होगी, स्कूल का स्टैंडर्ड सेम होगा, तो हमें 10-10 किलोमीटर से बच्चों को लाने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी।
वेरी गुड। एवी सतीश, आपने सही बोला। एवी सतीश is on the phone line from Bangalore. Mr. Satish, go ahead. All right, A.V. Satish is not on the phone line right now. A very quick closing statement. Mr. Amod Kant, closing statement. The truth is, let me point this out. We have been asking for a nationwide school policy for school fees right now, and the government has dragged their feet repeatedly because the government knows if it drags its feet for another 2 weeks, parents have no choice but to pay all of the fees that are being asked because they're simply being extorted at this point. You have a given time. If you don't pay for the bus, you won't get the bus. If you don't pay for the school fees, you won't get the seat in that particular year. So, isn't it important that the government right now respect and adhere to our fundamental right of free compulsory education and come up with a policy that guarantees our children safety in schools, safety in buses, and guarantees parents a certain level of stability when it comes to fees?
Unfortunately, the Right to Education Act does not cover these points. It doesn't really cover that point. Perhaps it was not possible to do it, so RT doesn't cover it. There should be a national policy, there is no doubt about it. There could be a national regulation, there is no doubt about it. Supreme Court has given guidelines also, that could be followed. But one has to take a very practical view. Some gentlemen said that why can't on every 2 kilometers there should be schools? We all demand it, we want it to happen. It is not happening. So we have to really look into it and create a national policy which is practicable. And I suggested earlier, I repeat it, that every school should create a system consisting of the concerned departments in the government, consisting of the parents and the guardians who could participate in the process, and keeping the safety of child uppermost. That could I can say.
Right. I have to wrap up this discussion, but I beg to differ with you, Mr. Amod Kant, about the fact that right to education doesn't include these points. Right to education, free and compulsory, includes safety for children. Safety for children is paramount, that if they're going to get free and compulsory education, they should get it in a safe manner. So Mr. Kant, that safety needs to be assured by the government of India, that actually puts out a policy saying school buses should be made available to every student. Safe buses, whether they're 13-seaters or 15-seaters or 20-seaters or 50-seaters, that they be safe and they be available to our children across the country. Schools cannot use safety as a handle to extort money out of parents, saying that your only other options will be these completely unsafe autos and these completely unsafe vans, unless you're willing to cough up 26,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees, 40,000 rupees a year to send your children to school by the school bus. That is not fair, and that violates then the fundamental right, because then you're telling your parents either pay up or send your children to school like that. That needs to be taken cognizance of by our government, because the Supreme Court has taken cognizance. What is the government doing? Why don't we have a policy? We don't have a policy because the government is waiting till June, till you've all paid your fees for a year, giving all of the schools an extra year to extort money out of you. And then from June to June next year, the government will drag its feet on a policy. Do it now. Do it in the next 2 weeks. Assure our children of safety. Assure our children that they can go to school in a bus that has doors, in a bus that has space for their bags, in a bus that has an attendant to make sure they're not being sexually molested, they're not being dangled out of windows, that they're actually walking down those steps and being handed over in one piece. Our children are our future. No parent will ever compromise on the safety of their children. The country should not compromise on the safety of the children either. This is the future of our country. You must realize that. You must also realize that parents are voters and parents are watching. Good night.